we rolling?
Yes.
All right. Well, during the Depression, growing up during the Depression, we used to do all kinds of things to entertain ourselves. We didn't have puffball guns, and we didn't have ink pots and things. So we'd take inner tubes. Probably a teenage boy, his most urban boy, his most prized possession was an old inner tube from somebody, because we'd cut them up in strips like rubber bands, but wide, you know, ½ inch or something like that. And we would take a piece of wood and we would shape it like a gun. And on the front, we would curl the inside so it would hold things so that it wouldn't slip out. And we put one end of the rubber band, the inner tube there, and we would pull it back to a clothespin, which we had nailed on the top of the gun, put it there and clamp it down. And then we would go around and we would play Cowboys and Indians, which was favorite films in those days. They did a lot of cowboy and Indian type stories. And then we'd go around and around buildings and so forth, and we would shoot each other with these rubber bands. And I even made at one time a repeater that had 2 rubber bands. Of course, you have to have a bigger inner tube or stretch it further, and you pull it back there and finally get it there, and then you have 2 shots. So if you don't get the guy, your Indian friend, or something, you'd shoot him twice. You had a second shot. So you had made a gun that was the prize of the neighborhood at the time. And then probably they'd make something else that was a little bit more. We also had bean blowers. They would sell at the 5 and 10 cent store, bean blowers, and we'd blow beans, small little navy beans, because we had lots of beans during the Depression. So, and we used to make all kinds of things out of them. I had, for Indians, we'd take chickens. Most people had chickens. They had their own chickens. We had over 100 rabbits that I had to feed when I went to junior high school. I had to feed them before I could eat, because that was my chores. And we didn't get paid for putting out the garbage. We didn't get paid for doing that. These kids these days don't do anything like that. You had to work, and when you didn't work, you didn't eat. And if you weren't there when Father came home, that's when we ate. You didn't snack ahead of time anytime you wanted. When he came home, you eat. Mama wasn't warming up anything at night. You ate with the family. You didn't eat separately, and you stayed there. If you took it on your plate, you finished it on your plate. You didn't leave a lot of things just because you didn't think it tastes good. In those days, you didn't have the choices that you have today either. So you learned that if you took it, you ate it. Otherwise, it stayed in the family bowl and there.